Hello everyone, welcome to Unicorn Light Tarot. Sincerely hope everybody is doing amazingly well today. We have a beautiful reading here for you today. We are doing an energy update. Happenings in the magical month of October, what will be happening for you. So there is so much going on in October. First of all, we have the Mercury in retrograde, which starts probably today if you're clicking on this as this video is new, but it runs September the 27th until October the 18th, starting off in Libra. And then we have a bunch of planets. We have Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto. They all go direct in October. We have a beautiful full moon, a new moon, and a full moon. And of course, we have Samhain, All Hallows Eve, right at the end. It's a beautiful month. The fall is here. The veil is thin. So much has been going on to bubble up to the surface so people can move through as these planets in October begin to go direct again. So this is going to be a magical month for everybody. So let's get into your readings. We have pile 1, 2, and 3. I didn't put anything on each of these piles because I know you'll be able to choose based on your own vision, based on your own heart. I don't doubt you at all. So as always, if you need more time, go ahead and click the pause button so you can get online and aligned with your own soul. The more you are aligned with your own soul, the more these readings resonate with you and you can apply them to your life for any help or support that you need. And then as always, the timestamps will be down below so you can just click back whenever you want. If you're still here, let's take a nice deep breath and hold it for a second and release. Just release right back into your energy of the body, filling up the first, second, and third chakra, rooting your soul into the ground, into Mother Earth, into Gaia. Let's just, for the time for your reading, 15, 20 minutes. This is just your time to connect with you. You can pick up whatever you need to pick up after the reading. That's absolutely up to you, of course. So let's move right into these readings. I am going to move pile 2 and pile 3 out of the way. So I haven't gone crazy with all the Halloween decorations yet, but because I love the month of October, but we've got a little aspect of them now, little remnants of them now, a little echo of times to come in October, because technically we're still in September, but we are reading for the month of October. So we do have our beautiful Halloween tarot here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these aside for now, and these were picked beforehand. So we are just going to give you an energy update again, the happenings in the magical month of October. What is in store for you? So let's get going with this. Reach for your dreams. Wonderful. So this is the theme of the month of October for you. Let's put these aside for a second. I am the creator of my own dreams and achieve them with confidence. That is wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. So this is the theme for October for all of you pile ones. Really reaching up into your trust, moving forward, taking those practical steps and externally putting them out into the world. Now, as we all know, and if we don't know, it's been drummed into us one way or another, because there's always hell and high water every time Mercury retrograde comes up. It's not always the time for quote unquote moving forward per se. It's the re-month, reinvent, reissue, reorganize, that sort of thing. But this is going to be a really interesting month for you, because the month for you, starting with this Mercury in retrograde, is all about connections. It's all about the one-on-one connection. It's all about your relationships and what's working for you and what isn't. So even though, moving forward and accelerating in this month may not be something that moves very quickly, everything can come into place with a small amount of intention in the Mercury in retrograde sort of period. And that's what you'll be doing. Connections will be coming in for you. You will be able to make connections in this month moving you forward. You'll get a clearer vision of what it is that you want. Some of this means that as you look at your relationships, your close relationships, whether they're family or friends, or whether they're friends you think is family, you really get to sort of not clear out necessarily, but make very, very clear what it is that you want and how it is that you want to be treated. So for some of you, there will be like communication. I need to have a chat. I need to do this. I need to reach out. I need to clear this up. For others of you, you'll be working with the energy that's yours and sending it out into the universe. Both of them are fine. It really depends on how you want to handle it. But the relationships are being heightened and highlighted in this month. And within that, there is a sense of community coming in. There's also moving you forward to your dreams also. So there's connections in there too. So don't underestimate this month for moving forward and reaching for your dreams. Now we would say keep it all pretty level, because it's not necessarily a month where you see a lot of the payback. You see a lot of your energy coming back. So don't get head up in needing to see a certain amount of results in the month of October. Work on the energy part of it and getting yourself really clear about what you want and moving forward. You're ready to do that. But also there's practical ways that you can move forward and actually pull that energy into you. So this is not going to be a static month for you, even though this is a Mercury in retrograde. So what do we have here? All Souls, life is meant to be enjoyed. That is your next one. Community is definitely highlighted for you in the month of October, and how it works for each and every one of you will be slightly different. But moving into a sense of connection, something happens where a lot of you will be moving into closer connections. Things will be made apparent, but it'll be through communication. Now, again, there's many different ways to communicate. Obviously, articulation is one of them, but there's many different ways to communicate. Being and getting really clear about what you want to move forward. Also, having a plan in action. Now, when I say a plan, it doesn't have to be like X, Y, and Z down on a piece of paper and click it off. A plan of action can be, I am going to stand in my power every day, and I'm going to enjoy my life. Bringing joy back into, it sounds something like, something that we put on the side, the sort of the back burner. When I have some time, I'm going to enjoy myself. This is something that, with Libra too, bringing it into that energy Mercury in retrograde, making that front and center. And also, as you're moving forward, really envelop into this understanding of joy, because for some of you, you're extremely clear about what you want and you're ready to move forward and you've done the work. But what you tend to do, and we all do this is absolutely a human trait. I know, I'm without a shadow of a doubt, I can say that I'm part of this group too. But sometimes we can over focus on what it is that we want. We figured out what we do and we get, into the manifestation stage. And really at the end of the day, it's about knowing what you want and releasing it. That's going to be highlighted for you in this month. Now, it might, for some of you, sound counterproductive. All right, but I'm letting it go. Is this really going to happen? Absolutely. Stay in your joy. Be very clear about what it is that you want. And again, moving into those articulations in any way that you seem or deem fit, but renegotiating or reworking your connections and how you articulate towards or in and around people. How clear you are, not just how you speak necessarily, but the energy that you put out to the world and to the universe. And absolutely staying in your joy. Give space and energy in and around whatever it is that you want to manifest, so it can manifest the way in which you want it. We have to release it, right? So the emphasis is on that for the month of October. So moving forward in the month of October, there will be so much that you do and accomplish, and yet a lot of it will seem easy because you're sort of easing into your energy and easing into the understanding that you can have anything that you want and that your dreams are right there. So it, again, for some of you, it may feel counterproductive. I'm not really doing a lot. I need to do more. I need to step it up in order to pull all of this stuff in, because I can tell you, especially with this Mercury in retrograde, all of the foundations that you set, physical foundations, mental foundations, all of the foundations that you set within that 3.5 week period, once all of these, we have Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto. Jupiter is that beautiful lucky Lucky, 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 coming into that luck, and Saturn too, that expansiveness of all of these beautiful planets coming in and going direct again. So using this time properly, really delving deep without losing yourself, but also standing in your own power, building that foundation. So when all of this goes direct, including Mercury in retrograde, everything physically from the external can just flood in. So this is a time for you to really set that foundation for you. 1, step ahead is all you need. Absolutely. And welcome the divine masculine. So you have a few different things going on here. What's the last one here? Forbidden. Okay, so now we wouldn't have a Mercury in retrograde reading if things didn't come up now that needed to be sorted. So there's an essence of you too that's ready to be rediscovered. Now, we have talked about this. It also sort of comes up in some ways, the recent video that I did where I'm actually physically talking to you about channeling. And I briefly touched on that, but I will be talking about that more in depth. This understanding of how you find a lot of yourself in the darkness too. But a lot of people, go on and into and do a lot of great work, fantastic work about shadow self. Okay. Now, you've done that work. That's not what you need to do in this Mercury in retrograde. But we want to focus on the beauty that's found in the darkness too. So much highlight, so much love, so many gifts, so many things that are there that previously you thought, okay, well, that's not where I'm going to find them, so I'm not going to delve in and dive deep into this. But this is something that you can do safely and honestly. And really, again, this is making peace with yourself. This is a communication on all levels and figuring out how to articulate new communications. Are they level up? Are they speaking the truth? Is the energy in and around me what I want? And also being careful about the energy that's in and around you, because this is the energy as you move forward into that success, especially when Mercury goes direct. This energy that's around you is going to be important too, because the universe picks up on that energy too. You need supportive, brilliant energy. This is a way you can be really supportive with yourself too. You can find that in those forbidden parts, those parts that you were a little bit afraid of going into before. And, it's not really fear, it's trepidation too. There's a little bit of an inkling of, I've done this work, I don't want to get stuck back into it, and we don't want you either, and that's perfectly reasonable. But it's just baby steps. You really don't have to excavate. You really don't have to go in there and do this really deep-seated work. But there is something for you that's hidden that you haven't really looked for before, and it's something glorious. It's not something that you have to pick up, a deep wound that you have to experience and heal or anything like this. There's gifts for you. For some of you, it's like clairvoyance. It's a spiritual gift for you, and the next level of it exists in the sort of a darker part of you. And the only reason why it's dark is because it's undiscovered. Again, we talk about sort of the darkness all the time and associate maybe darkness with evil, and we've done this from the beginning of time. This is sort of paramount in our society, and really that isn't true, because in the darkness, everything, when we have the lights off, things can seem a little scary because it's at the absence of light. But if you flick the light on immediately, and then the light transposes and lights up the entire room, our fear leaves. So there's something very deep that's going to be happening for you, something very exciting that's going to be happening for you in the month of October, where you rediscover an aspect of yourself and you find it in the place you wouldn't expect it to find. Now, this will be happening on different degrees, on different levels. For some of you, because obviously this is a general reading, for some of you, you will be going within and finding it within, and this is something we've already talked about. Some of you, it will be linked to your relationships. It will be a conversation you didn't want to have, but once you've had it, it will lighten up and just release everything that needed to be said. And there's just this new plateau of beautifulness. There's other ways to do this too. It'll be happening on many different levels, but there's a real beauty about taking that step into the unknown, or into, the forbidden. Certainly that's the way you may have seen it before, but it's going to come up with great results here. And you're going to be fully supported in this Mercury in retrograde energy, because it's all about illuminating what we have dug deep, digging deep what we've buried at times, or recurring themes that are coming up that are ready to be addressed. So that's why a lot of people aren't crazy about Mercury in retrograde. But if you work with the energy and don't try and push through it, all right, I need to do this, that, and the other, I need to accomplish this in this 2 weeks. If you're open and flexible and work with the energy of Mercury in retrograde, it can be enormously rewarding. And it can move you forward in unprecedented ways that you wouldn't be able to move forward in a normal, right, 3.5 week period. So this is a way for you to move forward with this. And this requires action for sure, but it requires a certain amount of action. It requires selfless action without expecting anything back. And this opens you up to sort of a myriad of different ways of seeing things. Now, this is what you will be working with, and it's very powerful energy, but it also becomes the sort of foundation for you moving forward. Energy to be fused into everything that you want. Again, getting very clear about what you want, because this is about you moving forward and creating your dreams, and a lot of them will be coming into actuality as, these planets come in and start moving into the, well, not normal direction, but as they start coming in and they start moving forward. They in direct motion. And of course, when Mercury goes direct again, which will be in October 18th, so we're coming in sort of the third week of October, so you've got 3.5 weeks here to make some magic, and make some magic in some sort of unconventional ways. So, and how you do this will be up to you. And again, part of the articulation, the communication for you, sometimes as you're working through some of this, it's good to keep it to yourself. You need to figure out how this works for you, because you're going to be working unconventionally, and not everybody will be able to see your point of view at the time, because, the month of Mercury in retrograde, everybody's working on their own stuff. They're not forced, but they're prompted to work on their own stuff. So they may not be able to see it from your point of view, and communications can go a little bit awry sometimes, and things can be taken personally when they don't need to be. So you will know for you, only you know you, right? So as you move forward and as you sort of work in these slightly unconventional ways, but they work really well for you, keep that close to your chest if you feel as though that's what you need to do. The position and what you accomplish through this will speak for itself. You don't need to let everybody in every step of the way. It's not for you to be guarded in any way, shape, or form. You have this sort of spherical living in this month of October. It's sort of easy breezy cover girl in a way. Again, this lightness, this joyfulness, but moving in your own direction, doing things on your own terms. And it's really just a case of you don't need to check in with anyone. But if there is a trusted soul that you want to run some ideas off of, you will know who that is. So it's just important not to have any judgment around how you do things, especially when you dive into this sort of like darkness area, in order for it to pull out or to shine some beautiful light, and to find out some more about yourself. Again, don't go down that rabbit hole. It's not about healing. This is not about healing or pulling up some core wounds that need to be looked at anymore. These are gifts that are hidden, that are waiting to be absolutely developed. For some of you, they are psychic gifts, and for you, it's lifting the veil of some deprogramming that's happening for you in the month of October, where you're not ashamed anymore, you're not frightened by it, you're ready to go for it, you feel really firm and energized in your own foundation and in your own energy, and you're ready to incorporate all that you see. And these gifts will absolutely fuse with you and move you forward in the way that you want, and you will be able to use them in absolutely beautiful ways. So these are gifts for you, but they will be found in unconventional places. And for some of you, a place where light isn't the norm. And that is wonderful, because you're here to see all sides of the spectrum, and you're here to see the opposite of what it is that you thought. So it's all about the flexibility of motion in this beautiful month of October here. Let's get into your tarot. Now that we have the theme and we have some understanding of how things are going to work out, let's try and get some specifics for you. Ooh, the King of Ghosts. I love that. You've got the King of Cups. So you do have this emotionality coming in. You do have this masculine, this divine masculine, this sense of action moving in. And as we said before, let's move on to those a little bit later. As we said before, these gifts that are coming up for you is it's absolutely acclimating to this new sense of deeply found sort of emotion and empathic ability. But it could be fused with alchemy, working with healing, but it's stepped up, not just a notch, but it's sort of blown open in a way in the month of October. Now, don't get freaked out. This is something that you've been sort of inching towards. You've been acclimating very, very slowly towards this. So when it sort of blows open, you're ready for this to happen. But there's a gift that's being given to you that you can fuse in to whatever gifts you already have and moves you through. And this is going to be a direct relationship to your dreams and how you move in that direction. Again, the focus and the energy is on relationships too. So solidifying those as you move forward. So you've got a lot of cups energy here. We have the Six of Ghosts and you have the Knight of Ghosts. So yeah, there's this energy of not a new beginning, and it's sort of doing things in a new way. And also it's a little bit of a childlike quality of slight spontaneity, but it works for you in this month because you have that firm foundation. I'm going to go off and do it this way. As we said before, it's slightly unconventional, but I'm going to do it this way. You might sign up for a course in that time that's slightly unconventional that you wouldn't have before, but whatever it is that you do and that you choose in this time will absolutely move you forward to this new level that's ready to take off as we move, everything moves into direction, moving in direct form. So, it'll be a month. It'll be, for Mercury in retrograde, it's 3.5 weeks, but really it'll be a month. So, and also there's an emphasis again on these relationships. There's an emphasis on harmony, but finding harmony sort of from different perspectives, finding out how to go about it, working with the energy of harmony, but approaching things differently. Like it's almost like this is how I've done things before. I'm going to do the opposite of how I've done things before. And these amazing results start coming in. And again, you will see these results coming in and these baby steps that you will be taking, whatever, you'll see the remnants of it. You'll see the energy in and around it. We urge you, though, not to get caught up with the tangible evidence of everything that's coming. You'll be able to see it. But as you move forward, that can be frustrating in Mercury in retrograde, because sometimes when we start seeing movement, it's absolutely wonderful. And then we're like, okay, now I want this to happen. I want this to happen. And Mercury in retrograde doesn't work like that. It's about working. You got to work with the energy and see what's being revealed to you. But again, this is not going to be a passive month. You're going to be able to see movement moving forward, but it's going to be in the realm of what you want, how you get it, and also how you work in your day-to-day life will be slightly different, changing things up, moving things in a different direction, highlighting all of the energy that's in and around you, and moving away displaced energy that's like, all right, this wasn't really working for me, but I wanted to put it on the sidelines to see if it was going to change. You're really going to make those decisions in October. All right, this isn't working for me. That's not working for me. This person isn't working for me. You're not cutting them off. You're not being mean. If anything, you hold space for people for so long, and while you pull back your energy and you've really worked on your boundaries, and this isn't a boundary issue by any stretch of the imagination, but you've done that before, but now sometimes it's really like, okay, I've left this space open, nothing's going to change, I'm really going to cut this out and I'm going to do this. And this is about you putting your energy completely and totally first. And part of it is how your energy, or if your energy is drained. If I'm holding space for this person, yes, I have boundaries. I'm not going to let them back in the way that they wanted, but I'm still holding space for them. So there's an energy leakage there. What do I need to do to pull that energy back for myself? This is all about you. How your energy works in the month of October, how you can express yourself, how you can validate yourself and really work with your energy in such an expressive and expansive way that everything is magnetic. So when the universe is right behind you, which will be, I mean, it's right behind you now, but when the energy of the universe is not working in retrograde, is actually literally behind you, propelling you forward, then you're ready to go in these beautiful ways. And it's all about sort of the day-to-day routine, how you change it up and how you do things. Again, slightly unconventionally, but you're ready to do this and sort of jump outside of the box here in very, very practical ways, which once you implement them and they really come into your life, they will be life-changing. They will absolutely be life-changing. Let's go ahead and get you just a couple more tarot in this beautiful reading. So this is a very energetic, sort of calm, joyful month. It's not going to be necessarily frustrating as long as you work with the energy of Mercury in retrograde. There's going to be a lot of aha moments for you. And there's a lot of elemental energy and a lot of fun energy around you, a lot of light energy around you as things are lifted and you come into a sense of self that isn't brand new per se, but it is different. And it will work for you in new ways moving forward. So let's see what we have here. You have the Ace of Imps, the Ace of Wands, absolutely, and the Seven of Pumpkins, the Seven of Pentacles. So you're definitely in a position to move forward and see the fruits of your labor, harvesting what you have put down, all the seeds that you've put down. But it's all about how to harvest them as quickly as possible, because you've been working on so many things for so long. You know, you don't have to start at the bottom and do this. This is all about making your energy and having your energy so magnetic that it all happens instantaneously, which is absolutely possible. You have the passion, you have the power, you have that sort of mischievous energy that's in and around you, that light-hearted energy that really pulls you and propels you forward in the month of October and really sort of allows for this new shift in consciousness that makes everything so much easier for you. Before you would, you were very good at making things work with the practical mind and the intuition and balancing everything. But this is about having sort of a magical magnetic life where things sort of come to you. So you're realizing that the more you focus on yourself, the more, it's not even about clearing out, but as the more you get clear, the more things will just come to you. Now, it sounds like a cop-out. It isn't. And there's action involved, and you will take the relevant action. In fact, as a personality type, you don't have a problem taking the relevant action. It's just a matter of how you put that action into motion. And this is the last piece of the puzzle coming in, clicking in. You'll be able to do that and get some incredible results. And again, you'll be able to see these results in October without a shadow of a doubt, but they may not be to the highest magnitude until everything goes direct. So just work with it and work with the magic and enjoy it. Don't try and anticipate how any of this is going to work out. That's a trap for you sometimes, because you start off in this incredible alignment and then you go into the sense of control when you're like, oh, is this going to happen? Is this going to happen? And that's a childlike essence of mine, which is wonderful. But we want you in the other childlike essence where anything can happen. And you're just, playing the game and seeing what happens. So have fun with this month. Have fun with this beautiful month and seeing with your energy many, many gifts again coming in for you in the month of October to solidify and fuse what you already know. These gifts that are coming in won't necessarily be out of nowhere. Again, they're just, they're an inclusion of what you already have and taking it to the next level. But the next level that you will be fusing is, it's huge. So I let go, I release, I am within perfect possibility. That is, or could be, your mantra. Take note of that if you want to. That could be your mantra for the entire month of October, and you would do very, very well. This literally sums up the information and the energy that you have. I let go, I release, I am within perfect possibility. Everything is right there for you. It's even under the dark moon. You're going to find this, and not even necessarily in the forbidden, because you've done that work. You don't really see it as the forbidden anymore, but you'll find it in that darkness. So much beauty is in there. So yeah, absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt. Let's choose one more moon magic card for you as we finish up. I accept, renewal and delight in fresh starts. Absolutely. And as we said before, this is something that you're changing on a practical way on your day-to-day level, doing the opposite of the routine that you did before, having this light-hearted energy, but also using that passion and that, divine masculine with that energy of action to do that. How you set up the foundation of this month of October will really propel you forward. So this is really important. It's all about putting your energy first, what it is that you want, moving for the stars, really working with everybody, all of your team, all of your support and who you have, and discovering all those beautiful gifts, or bringing those beautiful gifts to new heights that you can incorporate and work with almost immediately, getting you that, or bringing you that magnetic life. So that's what we have for you in this magical happenings in the month of October. So we hope that gave you a little bit of support and resonated with you. So we are sending you so much support and love for exactly who you are and where you are. Please stay safe and sane wherever you are in the world, but also get out there and do whatever you need to do. Remember, this is your month in many, many ways. You've been working up to all of this, and there's so much magic in this month for you to take heed of. And also with the veil being so thin, that's partly why you'll be able to do all of this work, sort of this dark work. But again, we don't want to freak you out in any way. There's so much beauty in that darkness. There really is so much beauty in that darkness. This is what you'll discover for yourself. And because the veil is so thin, it'll feel very natural for you. So you will all work with that in your own ways and whatever feels natural to you. So you take care. Enjoy the month of October. Sweet, sweet pile 1. Bye-bye. Hey, lovely pile 2s. So this is your energy update, your happenings in the magical month of October. And just to remind you, we have Mercury in retrograde for us from September 27th to October 18th. We also have in the month of October, the planets of Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto are all going direct. So much is going to go on. So let's get right into your reading. Put your tarot, Halloween tarot, aside, and we're going to start with the theme of your third eye chakra, the theme of your month of October. I see the wisdom of my higher self and apply this wisdom in my life, third eye chakra. So this is a month for you. Now, so much goes on in the month of October. So much goes on in the month of October anyway, because there's so much energy with the veil being particularly thin at this month without everything else going on. And then on top of that, we do have the energy of Mercury in retrograde. And while it can be an incredible energy of 3.5 weeks of really rebooting and figuring out some stuff, it doesn't always feel as though, everything is moving forward in the way that it did before. But we want you to encourage to see October as a very, very powerful month, and in no way a passive month whatsoever. So coming into your third eye chakra here, wisdom of your higher self, this month for you is definitely an honoring of your higher self in its extreme form. This is definitely a month where you lean into really trusting yourself. Now, this is something that you've been working on anyway. This is not out of left field. You've been working on trusting yourself and working with your intuition too, and learning the difference between your intuition alignment and versus control and all of that. And some of it has been extremely successful, and some of it feels as though it needs a little bit of work. But all of this energy is coming in and going to solidify for you in the month of October moving forward. So it's all about some people, let's move this aside. Some people work differently with how they work with intuition. For some people we say, it's an easy way for me to say when I'm trying to talk about this and really make clear about what it is that I'm trying to say. It's coming into the heart chakra, is, the difference between the practical mind and the heart chakra. And in fact, I've said this for an exercise before. Just a very simple way of doing things is ask a question to your mind. Your mind will give you a very specific answer. It'll be based on the ego and it'll be based on the practical mind. Then clear that out and go and really sit into your heart chakra. And the heart chakra will always tell you the truth. Now, the truth may seem a little bit strange. It might really sort of piss off, for want of a better term, the brain structure and your mind. And occasionally the mind and the heart actually correlate and say, yeah, this is what's happening. But Usually it's the heart chakra that we come in for intuition. Sometimes we come into the lower chakras too. For you, you'll be working with the third eye chakra, which is really incredible. So you'll be bringing in the art of all seeing and all knowing. And this is going to be solidified for you in the month of October. And it's going to bring you to new heights. It's going to bring you to new kinds of wisdom. Now, you do have a wisdom. You've been working on, you're so open energetically. You've been working on that. You've been working on boundaries. And this reading isn't about boundaries in any way, shape, or form. And you've been really working to solidify what your higher self wants for you, and then sticking with it. So you're very good at deciding what you need for your higher self, and then sometimes you're apt to opening up your energy again, and then other energies come in. There's so much energy out there right now that's trying to draw you in, for want of a better term, really into drama and into lower densities. It exists absolutely everywhere. It's not just in the media, it's in all media, it's everywhere, right? So even though you can make great decisions for yourself, you know what you're doing, and in the moment you're absolutely fine, it's about working with this energy. So in the past you've done this, and then this energy has seeped in and it's unnerved you a little bit. And then what you've done is you've really set these boundaries. I don't need this energy in and around me. And you've done that. And that's wonderful. What you'll be doing is the next level, though, in the month of October, which is really exciting. You're going to be working with your higher self. You're going to choose exactly what you want. And when this energy comes in and around you, without these boundaries needing to be up, you'll be like, yeah, that's great. Good for you. Nope. No, it's not for me. You don't need those boundaries anymore. Now, we're not suggesting that you turn on every radio and every device in your house and let all the energy in. Not at all. But also, it's reaffirming those boundaries without having to keep those boundaries. Now, those boundaries needed to be clear and a little bit of a shield for you while you negotiated with yourself and while you sort of solidified this energy. But this energy is really being able to solidify in the month of October, which is very exciting for you because it brings you to a new level of sort of existence and what energy you can be in and around, and how grounded you are and how stable your foundation is. So ignite, again, the opportunities flowing in. And I love this because we've also got cozy up with risk, and we've also got rise. So all of these coming into, and we've also got lust too, which I love. I actually really love this card for many different reasons. So you've got ignite, flow, opportunities flowing in, cozying up with risk, and you've got rise. Now, this is a new way for you to be. Let's put these right here. This is a new way for you to be. Now, you always trusted yourself. When the energy came in and around, you were working with those boundaries because they tried to flood in, and you were able to sort of keep them back. No, I know what I'm doing. I don't need that energy in my life. That's fine. But now you're working from that third eye chakra. There's this sort of this new way to be where it's unconditional love. You can see people and also see where they're coming from. When people say things, you can see, I don't want to say the word agenda. That word just keeps coming up all the time. I'm going to stop using it because I'm just so bored with it, really. But you can see the highlight of people's actions, where they're coming from, and every part of the aspect of why they've chosen it. And there's a very specific reason why, right? And this third eye chakra, seeing you, seeing the world and seeing situations from that, comes from an area of compassion. When we're in that compassionate light, we don't need to shield ourselves or even have those boundaries. They're not necessary anymore. So what happens is that you've got this firm foundation, this really firm foundation now to live spherically and expansively in any way that you want. Now you have a very clear idea of what you want to do and how to move forward with it. Now these baby steps will be occurring for you in the month of October. This will really be the month for you to solidify how this new energy works for you. And again, very, very similar in some ways to Pile 1, very different energy. But you have this very much in common with Pile 1, where it's you being the center without the ego, right? It's not about the ego, it's all about me. But you being the center of the universe and being able to see all and feel all and allowing everything to come to you instead of chasing after that. That will be your theme. That's really your theme. See the wisdom of the higher self and being able to do that and acclimate to that. So this will be setting you up. In Pile 1, there was very specific things about changing up the routines and moving that forward. For you, it's more of a flowy energy. It's not really changing anything up. There's just shifts that you're going to move into. They're beyond aha moments. They're just these shifts that you move into of how you see and how you work with your energy. Again, rising it up from the heart chakra to the third eye. You're much more in tune. So you have much more of a macro element of this, being able to oversee things objectively. And therefore, you're not easily pulled into anything anymore. You can stand your ground, be who you are. And again, assert those boundaries without having to really cut anything off. But again, it's not about just sort of, free flowing, allowing that dam to just collapse and everything coming in. So this is a time for you to experiment and have fun with this new energy. And again, rise up in the way that you want. This new energy affords you this new sort of freedom that you have before. And it's not freedom. You had the freedom before. You've always had the freedom. But here's the thing. You didn't necessarily see the freedom, as much freedom as you had before. And now you see the expansiveness. You do see the freedom. So this is a way for you to move into this new sort of found freedom on your own terms. Now, the reason why you didn't see the freedom so much before is that certain aspects of your life you needed to make smaller in order to make them sort of to sort of make them malleable. There was work that needed to be done. So it's sometimes when you open everything up, like a really expansive space can be really overwhelming. So you purposely, your psyche, pulled it down, shrunk it down, and that's the way you needed to do in order to move it forward. It's not like, oh, all of a sudden you have freedom and you weren't free before. That's not true at all. But the way in which you see freedom now is that you might want to check out what you think you want and really start figuring out what you truly do want in the month of October. Now, it's not a passive month, but because we have that 3.5 weeks in Mercury in retrograde, even though these beautiful Jupiter, particularly the lucky sign coming in for that supportive going direct, even though that's happening, it's not really about tangibly moving forward and seeing those results come in as quickly as possible in that 3.5 weeks. This is the time, if you can work with Mercury in retrograde, it's such a magical time for you to work with it and really solidify this new energy moving forward and this newfound freedom that you have. It's not a small thing. It brings you into sort of the area of things that you may felt as though that you've missed out on before, and really diving into some situations that are healthy for you, that may not make sense to everybody else, but are healthy for you just for the fun of it. Sometimes pile two, and this may not be for absolutely everybody because it's, it can't apply to everybody. But sometimes, pile two, you can take yourself a little bit too seriously. I'm going to do this and I'm going to have this result and I'm going to do that. Sometimes you can go the other way too. But recently it's been about trying to build that expansiveness. But you were previously trying to build that expansiveness by using the mentality of like, let's get this going, let's move this on, and that's sort of, it proved a little counterproductive. With this new energy, as it sort of becomes really expansive and really beautiful here, it opens you up to these great opportunities for you to just have fun and just do them. And not expecting any results, staying safe, being whatever you need to do, but not expecting a result from it. And that's a wonderful thing for you to do. In fact, that's an expansive thing for you to do. That's a great thing for you to do. And some of these situations may work out. Some of them may not. It doesn't matter. But sometimes you like to put your energy into things that are sure things, right? Because we're only here for a certain amount of time. You don't like wasting your time. You're extremely efficient. You're so efficient in some ways that you can cheat yourself out of some of the experiences that are out there for you that are just meant to be fun. But this new freedom and this expansiveness gives you the sort of gives you this really underlying energy of like undulating energy that's really fun, having fun with the mysteriousness of it. It's almost like at the beginning of the month you're trying it on, and it's almost like a little bit of a mask that you can hide behind, and and you can be anything or anyone you want. And then as you really encompass it, as you move through the month of October, it solidifies, and then you have this real sort of gorgeous confidence that just sort of rears through wherever you go, and just really wielding that power and using it ethically as you always do, but having fun with that power to see, and also exercising that power as it first comes in. It's important to be able to do that. So, have these really fun, expansive situations. Some of the brand new things that we begin, or even brand new relationships that we begin in Mercury in retrograde, they're not always there to quote unquote work out. They're there to show us something. They're there to highlight something. So go in with that attitude. We're not saying by any stretch of the imagination that some of it can't work out. It will work out in its own way. But don't go in with any kind of commitment. Go in with some fun and some energy. And that sense of adventure is coming in, fused with this mysteriousness that really allows you to sort of relax. It's not that you were on guard before, but there was so many different things. If you drop the ball, this would happen, this, that, and the other. So this is just a heightened sort of moving into sort of a more relaxed experience, but also an expansiveness. We could say that, vibrations are a little bit higher, and that's part of it, but that's not really what this is about. This is about sort of moving into just a new way of seeing and experiencing the world that incorporates every aspect of yourself that you usually save for rainy days or special occasions. You're bringing out, the inner child, that mysteriousness, that sort of happy-go-lucky, and that instance of you absolutely have those in your personality without a shadow of a doubt, but integrating them fully. So they're driving the show a little bit in October. They're front and center, and this is how the magic happens. So let's see what we have here. We have the Three of Bats, so we have the Three of Swords coming in here. We have the Star card, look at that, and the Page of Pumpkins, the Page of Pentacles. So it's not even a case of betrayal necessarily. It's a case of this old energy of how it used to work. And for some of you, it was taking it personally. And, it's not really that you actually take it personally. That's just sort of very one-dimensional thing to say. You take it personally because you want the best for people. You want the best for the world. There is not that martyr thing necessarily, but that you really infuse with that light worker, wanting everything to be okay. And then a lot of that power was lost by, really feeling lost about the state of the world, and things seem chaotic, but there's so much beauty in that chaos. And the fact that we have the chaos is glorious because it means everything's bubbling up to the surface. If everything is out, then nothing is hidden. If nothing is hidden, then it can crumble and we can start anew. And this is a new way for you to be. So there's a couple of different energies coming in for you too. There's this real childlike energy, and I don't know how to describe it really, because it seems like it couldn't work together. It's not just expansive, but it's this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. So it's really fly by the seat of my pants kind of energy, but it's also very sort of contained and also regal and beautiful moving forward. It's almost like, I'm going to do that because you're listening to your soul. And it seems like, I haven't thought about it, I'm going to do it, but it's choosing the right things for you. There's still a pragmatic element to it. It's not like, I'm going to do things for the sake of it and then spend the next 3 weeks regretting it and cleaning up my life. Not at all. But there's because you're clued in, there's this real quick-witted and this quickness to the energy that you have and the decisions that you can make in the month of October. That is really exciting. And if you stay with this energy, which of course you will one way or another, it leads you to great things. So in pile one, it was sort of the opposite in a way. For them, it was about really working with the day-to-day energy and changing up the routine. That was really important. For you, that's not going to do anything for you. For you, that's the opposite. For you, it's seeing everything, its totality. For you, it's seeing the entirety of everything. The word infinity is going to mean a lot to you. It's because it's all about the expansiveness, but also seeing everything for what it is and being able to choose what you want. And again, this energy of rising up and igniting, but there's also a mysterious energy. There's this beautiful confidence that you used to have, pile two and you kind of lost it along the way. About no matter what you do, you're going to fall on your feet and everything's going to be okay. And there's something that's clicked in the pile in pile two, yes, in pile two, but in the month of October that brings that back and it comes flooding back. And so you have this just energy of just really being okay with everything. And that just allows everything to happen. But it's really backed up by this energy, this foundation that you have working with the third eye. And again, taking all those shields down, which didn't need to happen before. They didn't need to be up there. Those boundaries didn't need to be up there. You were dead right to do it the way that you did. You absolutely sense that that's what you needed to do. You needed to shut out everything so you could really learn and hone in and hear your own voice. But your own voice got so loud, you got a little bit lonely. Now you're going to open everything up and you can still hear your voice when there's a million different other voices, and you can go, nope, this is still my voice. Yep, I'm good. And that's absolutely wonderful. But this is a new brand of connection for you, a new way of working in the world. So it's not a passive month. None of this is a passive month for pile one and now for pile two, and it won't be for pile three. It's a time for igniting and moving forward in a new way, but also the way in which you move. Keep seeing sort of the way in which you walk. It's like, this mysteriousness to you. People want to know about that, moving you into a new era of how you work in the world, which is absolutely beautiful. Let's get you a couple more tarot here. To some more specifics. You really cannot go wrong because you really understand how your third eye works, how your energy works in this too. But also by putting your energy first, which you've done before. This is nothing that you need to work on in the pile, I keep saying that, pile two. In the month of October, you've already done that. That's what you've been working on. So this is the ending, the product of putting your energy first and really solidifying who you are, and also having that fun and getting back to like, I'm just going to do this, I'm just going to do that, and knowing that you're going to land on your feet. You really did have that essence when you were younger. And sometimes you would, for some of you, this may not apply for all of you, but for some of you, you would purposely go out there and make these decisions and do this because you knew you would land on your feet. It's almost like you were testing the universe. The universe always solidified, always sorted something out for you. Sometimes in weird and magical ways, and sometimes more practical ways that were easier to tell that was going to happen. I'm going to go for this. I know I'm going to get it. And you did. But when you put everything into it, that that you've had that. And, as time has gone on, that area of you, that aspect of you is still there, but you're going to be honing in on that and bringing that front and forward in October. And now fused with this new foundation, this new energy moving forward, really allows for you to have this new kind of connection and movement in the world. So we have the Queen of Imps. I love that. Absolutely. So you've got this wand energy, this passion, this fire. You've got ignite here. You've got the Empress. Look at this. Absolutely gorgeous. You've got the Queen of Imps and you've got the Empress. So this is, you may not be, it's not gender here, but you may not be a female per se. But this is the absolute gorgeousness, the absolute best blending of the divine feminine, the divine masculine. You have the feminine intuition, but you've got that divine masculine of that real movement forward, that passion and that power, but knowing how to wield it moving forward and having that magic. And also being where you are, you're not tempted anymore. You're not tempted to go down that road to prove to yourself that you did make the right decision, or to make sure that you did. You're absolutely secure in that, or any decision that you've ever made, or who you are in the world, who you've decided to be. And also standing in your own power and utilizing that power from that central frame that you have, and watching other people come in and around you. You love the hustle. There's something about loving the hustle, but in the hustle, there's a lot of unnecessary movement sometimes, and you can get lost in there, and then the results don't come the way that you want. Standing in this power and leveling up in this way, you've got all this beautiful wand energy and this fire energy with the ignite too. You've got cozying up with risk, but it's a very deliberate kind of risk, hence the cozying up. You've got the star card. You cannot go wrong. You might have a little bit more movement, practical movement in the month of October. than maybe pile one. However, not all of it's going to pan out in a way that's significant, but the experiences are going to be absolutely wonderful for you. And also this rising up to rising into your power in a way that you can wield it sort of unwittingly. And it's really beautiful, the sense of power that you come into. So let's see, let's end the reading with a couple of cards from Moon Magic. So we got the mantra for pile one from this. That was absolutely perfect. That summed up the reading so well. So, you know, no pressure here in Moon Magic, but every day I focus on what is important. Absolutely. And what you do, focusing on what is important, is yourself. And again, that's not selfish. That's putting all of your energy first and everything in pure acceptance of who you are, meaning every single experience, every single decision you've ever made, coming into that understanding that it's fused with who you are, and who you are is absolutely brilliant. Not only are you absolutely brilliant, but this is the person with all the experiences and everything that you've been through that now has enough courage to reach for exactly what they want, and actually further than what you thought you wanted. You've got the passion, you've got that energy, and it will be moving forward. You know, even though Mercury retrograde isn't, you know, a tangible results kind of 3.5 weeks, you will be moving forward with all of this passion. But because you'll be moving forward in such a way that's intuitive, whatever brings whatever new heights are being brought to you in the month of October, you'll be able to fuse into everything that you're moving forward with. So I flow towards my goal. I am strongly protected as I go. Absolutely. And that's really, we did get a mantra for you. This would be wonderful for you. You know, practical, you know, support. You don't have to do anything. Always check in with your, well, for you, for your third eye. But I flow toward my goal. I am strongly protected as I go. As we said before, that just taking that chance and doing it, knowing that you're going to land on your own 2 feet and the universe is going to support you. This is something that's going to be solidified in the month of October, that will be brought out of the month of October and really move you forward in this way. So flowing, again, that's your goal. Keep that in mind and have that be your mantra one way or another, however you say it or phrase it in the month of October, and you cannot go wrong. You are strongly protected. And also you're being fused into, you're being pulled into these new directions and these new energies that are really, really fun. Wield your power, have some fun, let your hair down and get out there. You have that beautiful balanced energy. You know, if it's just divine masculine energy without the intuition, sometimes it can be really heavy-handed, and then with the intuition sometimes you need that action. You've got this beautiful, perfect sort of alignment in the stars here of divine action and divine masculine and divine feminine moving forward. You cannot go wrong in this month. Please enjoy it, and honestly, make October your bitch. That's what just came up to me. Make the month of October your bitch. It is all about you. You can make it all happen in your own way in October. Bigger things will be coming after the month of October, because this is just solidifying all of this energy. But make October your bitch. You've got this, pal, too. So on that note, we are sending you support for exactly where you are and who you are in the world. Please stay safe and sane. But of course, as we say, you know, stay mentally and physically safe, but get outside of that box. Do what you need to do. Until we meet again, take care. Bye-bye, pal. Beautiful pal 3. This is your reading. Again, it's an energy update. Happenings in the magical month of October. So much going on. We have the Mercury retrograde, September 27th to October 18th. We also have Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto that go direct in October. And let's not forget, we have Samhain right at the end, our beautiful Halloween. So the month of October, the veil is thin. So much going on. Let's get into your reading. I'm going to put aside your tarot for now. So the first card is the theme of the month. So let's see what your theme is. Sacral chakra. Love that. I feel comfortable in my own body. I'm sensitive to other people's feelings. Okay, so this is what we have for your theme coming up, your sacral chakra. So this is gorgeousness. I feel comfortable in my own body. I'm sensitive to other people's feelings. Now, you've always been sensitive to other people's feelings. So this is about being comfortable, being sensitive to other people's feelings, and solidifying your own energy in your body. So there's acclimation. There's a few things going on for you here. That's bringing in your energy and solidifying it, certainly, but that's only a small portion of what's going on. There's a lot of creative energy that's coming up for you in the month of October. Now, as we said in Pile 1 and Pile 2, these are active months in some ways. They are not passive in any way. But as we know, with the month with Mercury in retrograde, it's 3.5 weeks. If you work with the energy of Mercury in retrograde, there is so much that can be done in that 3.5 weeks that cannot be solidified and move forward in any way in a normal 3.5 weeks, as long as you work with the energy and don't push against it. So it's not necessarily about results per se, but so much can happen in this time, and this is going to be happening for you. So a lot of creative energies are going to be coming up for you. Even taking down notes, they're going to be coming up so much and thick and fast for you. Taking down notes, coming back to them, sort of moving through them, taking them to the next level. Every single idea that comes up in this month will be solidified in some way. It'll be brilliant. Now, as they start coming up, they might be firing off and you're like, I have so many different energies coming up, so many different things that are coming up creative. Even if I had 10 lifetimes, I would not be able to do all of this stuff. None of it makes sense. Write them down anyway. We absolutely promise you, right? This is a guarantee. There is a way to meld them all together. It may not seem either possible or even that you want to at the beginning, and that can shift and that can change. But as these come in together, as you come into this unique sensibility, which is another thing that you're coming in, once you're firmly into your own body and these creative ideas come up, they're going to be sending you a new direction. So they might feel a little bit strange, but don't pass them off. Definitely write them down if you can. Once you get into that uniqueness later on in the month of October, you'll be able to meld them together in a really, really interesting way, something outside of the box that could bring you to this absolutely new idea and this new direction. So this is an ideas time for you, a creative time. So bury me. Take time for yourself in the number 9. That's an energy that's coming into for the month of October with the Mercury in retrograde, putting your energy first and really sort of, the word is saturating, just saturating your mind with what it is that you want to hear. It'll be really important for you. For music keeps coming up. Cozy meals, whatever you want to do, really putting that on the forefront and making sure that that's in and around the month of October. Some of us do that anyway, but sometimes we get sort of carried away and we don't do the sort of the self-care stuff that comes on Saturday night or when we have time. If you put this on your forefront, and it sounds like it's a small thing, really, is that really coming up in a reading? But putting yourself center stage, sets into activation the sacral chakra, really you coming into your own body, honoring yourself, and that's going to be, again, the activation of all these new ideas coming in. So it's fused with so many other energies coming in. So that's why it's important to put your energy first, particularly in Mercury and retrograde here. Pile 2 was all about expansiveness and sort of letting everything in. For you, it's about solidifying and maybe shutting the world out for some of you, but also getting lost in your own mind, getting lost in sort of fairy tales or, movies that you used to love, reading, that sort of thing. Getting lost in a world that you've created for yourself that really heightens and again solidifies this world that you're building within yourself. It's very, very important for your imagination too. Choose who you are becoming and the now, and then you've got invisible. So you've got this energy before of having the invisibility. Now it's not really invisibility. You've used the invisibility actually quite well. You've used it in a way to be able to get what you want. It's not been sort of out there and that da-da, here I am, but you've got that chameleon element. You're also you're not shifty in any ways, but because you've had that invisibility sort of cloak that you can put on, people often underestimate you, but you're brilliant at what you do. So you often get, oh my God, you've done that, or you did that, that was you, that sort of thing. They underestimate you. It's their projection, it's their loss. So you've used the invisibility in an absolute way that's worked for you in the past, but you're shifting that and you're changing that. And you're choosing who you want to be. Now, there's an element of that invisibility that you're going to fuse into who you are becoming, because you're going to choose who you become in the month of October. A lot of things have been coming up. You really understand the concept, the absolute concept, which is absolutely true, that you create your own reality. And you've been trying things on. You've also been taking aspects of your personality and things that you've done before and say, all right, I used to do that, like for the invisibility. You've been doing this really wonderful thing. It's a wonderful trait to have. You haven't always had it because you've been quite hard on yourself in the past, but you've really done that when you've added a certain way of being or a certain type of behavior, and you said, all right, I did it this way because of X, Y, and Z, but I got this out of it and I was successful. It made me successful in this, that, and the other. Now, it doesn't mean that you want to keep that behavior. This invisibility is it's not shrinking, it's developing into something else. Your original alchemist, you're transmuting it into something else, but it afforded you to be able to see how people worked, to be able to see how people go about things, to be able to see how not the shallowness of people. I mean, on the external, we can say people, certain people and have shallow actions, but because they're not in touch with their inner being, so it's not as simple as that. So you've been working through all of this and you're ready to fuse it all in. Now, you're not ready to give up the invisibility, nor should you, but you're ready to make that invisibility magical. So this is going to be a magical month for you. So if you need to shield yourself from the outside world, if you're able to do that in any way, shape, or form, this could be really fun for you. Now, it's a general reading. It's not necessary for you to do that. And it'll be really fun for you to come out in the world a little bit within that 3.5 weeks or within that, a month of October, and sort of play with some of these archetypes that you have that you're trying on as you're fusing. But you are choosing who you want to be, and you're taking all of the experiences that you had before, and you're really, really pulling out all of the beautiful parts that you were able to use out of it, and you're taking all of the best and fusing it into who you are now. Now, it's a really wonderful thing to do, because for the very, very first time, you're really solidifying into this person that doesn't feel bad about what they've done before. There isn't any guilt. You're moving out of that. And you're being able to see that because of everything that you've done allows for this creativity, allows for this experience, allows for this creativity. Now, some of you actually might be working on a book or some kind of narrative where, and it could be very, very loosely based, like everything that you've been through. It could even be nonfiction, everything that you've been through. Sort of this fairy tale-esque element. And that's why we want you to write down every single idea that comes in, because you could fuse them together in a fairy tale and make it all work. You've got this weird hedge that talks to this, that, and the other. You've got a sky that constantly falls and can't hold itself up. All these things that independently are really quite strange, but when you bring them together, you have this amazing narrative. This is also a time for you. This is the month for your imagination to absolutely take flight. Now, you've never had a problem with your imagination before. You're extremely imaginative. This we know. However, without that grounding force that you had before and being firmly into that sacral chakra and into your body, and really being fused with Mother Earth, you weren't grounded enough at times. So when your imagination came in, you could go from 0 to 1,000,000 in a second, and even give yourself a panic attack. Oh my God, this is happening, and you could imagine every scenario that's ever happened, because your mind works that quickly and can imagine absolutely everything. So your sense of imagination, when somebody, if somebody actually said to you, imagine the sky falling, you actually could imagine it and feel it in every cell in your body. I mean, you are absolutely able to do that. Now, bringing that element of who you are and actually using it for you and not against you is what you can do, because the sense of imagination can take, creativity to the new heights. And this is what you'll be doing. You'll be taking your creativity to the new heights. Now, you're already incredible when it comes to imagination, as we've already said. So creative ways, there's a million different ways to do it. And of course, these are general readings. You will take these ideas and they could be more practical, more fused with work. Some of you may even be in the medical field, all sorts of different ways. But all of these ideas are coming in and ways for you to fuse in with them. And they are slightly outside of the box, and they're definitely original. So stamping your originality on the month of October is something that you are ready to do and you're going to have fun doing. Again, the way in which you do it is really extracting all of the old and almost seeing it as superhuman. And superhero and superhuman kind of aspect of self. And you really do have that element to you, because that invisibility, for instance, if we go back to that, the way in which you've used it before in your life is kind of superhuman. It's just about a switch in perspective. Now, if you're not in this perspective just yet, you're coming into it. That's the journey of Mercury in retrograde. Mercury in retrograde is going to start off in Libra, so it's all about communication. And making things right with relationships. Now, that could be in and around you. For you, you're going to be the central theme. You're going to be making things right with your relationship with you. Creativity, beauty, bringing back that justice, really understanding all of the stuff that you went through, and not just accepting everything that you've gone through and then, fusing in, that's my experience, I own it now. This is 15 stages beyond that. This is like, I am a superhero for doing it this way and fusing it, and now I'm able to do this. So while you won't be working within the invisible realm or the other realms that you were working in before, you are lowering those and you're integrating them and moving away from them. You're going to take aspects of them that, again, has this sort of fusing with the confidence, with the creativity, definitely with the quirkiness, with the originality, coming in for you. And again, very firmly in charge of who you are becoming, and really having fun with trying things on and seeing where it goes. Even testing people too, not necessarily to shock them per se, but really testing the heights of sort of your originality, which you've always had, but you've dumbed it down a little bit just to be accepted. And again, you weren't really necessarily that interested in being accepted, although connection is very important for you, and that's also coming in October, but you just wanted to be left alone. You wanted to be left alone. So the invisibility allows you to be left alone. If you seemed like you dumbed things down a little bit, people left you alone, right? They left you alone. And again, to the extent where they underestimated you, you could be a little bit sneaky, but that's just the way, people didn't have enough imagination to see you in your totality. So that's on them. So coming back into a new sense of, yes, absolutely. You've got the Queen of Ghosts here. You've got the Queen of Cups coming in. The Nine of Pumpkins. Love this. The Pentacle energy. And you've got the Four of Bats. You've got the Four of Swords. So we're gonna do it like this. We're going to do it like this. So you got the Four of Swords. And again, we talked about having that. This is just solidifying that you're taking the experience that you've had before and utilizing it in sort of a brand new way that's really, really fun. Now, you may even be able to create, as we said before, a character or something, or create yourself as a character within the month of October. But it's you're not losing it. You're not out of reality. You're creating a new reality. Dreams are a reality. Everything's a reality. It's just a different kind of reality, right? So the way in which you use this energy, especially sort of with the moon-based energy too, you'll be really interested in sort of moon phases. You'll be working with a new and full moon for some of you, but the mysteriousness of the moon, and also a lot of your ideas can come at night also. But also really figuring out how you take those experiences to the next level and utilize them sort of in a brand new way, this really expansive way. Now, you are deep feelers. You're definitely alchemists and light workers without a shadow of a doubt. So this Queen of Ghosts, this Queen of Cups coming in, this regal sense of mastering over your imagination, your beauty, it really affords you this new confidence. Now, whereas before there was a part of you, now you never thought of yourself as weak necessarily, but some of you didn't always get the support you needed. So, and it's been very difficult for you to ask for help. So occasionally you think of yourself, all right, a little bit helpless. I feel a little bit helpless, and you can get lost in that ideology, that understanding of self. But something's coming back to you, this real sense of confidence that's really being infused in the sacral chakra, in this gorgeousness that's really being attached to your sense of creativity. But it causes this sense of confidence that comes in and says, I can do anything that I want. I'm not helpless. I know I'm going to fall on my own 2 feet. I think this came up in pile 2, just a little bit, very different energy though. Slight crossover there. And knowing that I create my own reality, I know that I'm going to be okay. So it causes you to move differently in the world, and just sort of and trust yourself, trust the universe, which of course is an aspect of yourself too. And it does reap rewards. Now, we've said with all three piles, and we want to reiterate this, working with the energy of the Mercury retrograde in 3.5 weeks is very, very important. It's not about plowing forward and plowing forward and getting this done and getting this done. Good luck, because Mercury retrograde really sort of wants you to sit, wants you to listen, wants you to pay attention. But if you work with the energy and don't resist it, so much healing can happen. So much can happen in the energy of that 3.5 weeks. So things will be coming to fruition for sure. They may not feel quite tangible in the month of October, but they feel possible. Now, when Mercury goes direct, the beauty of if you work, and you will be doing this, if you work in this energy in the way that you will be, with this extreme sort of confidence and value for yourself, then once Mercury goes direct, everything just comes in. You won't have to wait. And in fact, Mercury is coughing and spluttering for a little while as it goes direct. It's definitely not quite where it needs to be. It's usually about 2 weeks. But you can see evidence of the external world rewarding you for all of that energy as soon as it goes direct. It'll be baby steps, and then it'll start accumulating. So don't underestimate, again, as we've said in all the other piles, this is not a passive month. Do not underestimate Mercury retrograde for the movement of moving forward. But again, it will be in a very specific way, and it will not be on your own terms, getting lost in your imagination, but also honing in on your imagination and creating your world from your imagination. Some of you may have been told that you were daydreamers when you were younger, and the way in which you daydream, but you created worlds in your mind. And somewhere along the line, you felt as though you needed to be a grown-up, you needed to be practical. And even though that part of you never went away, it can't be, but you covered it up a little bit. But actually, your power and your energy comes from your sense of imagination, and comes from the sense of, the reality that you create for yourself. So this coming in, that knowledge coming in front and center for the month of October, really gives you this expansiveness. Now, the one thing that we know without a doubt, and it's really been proved true, is that we create our own realities. We see so many different realities and so many different timelines out there right now, and they're being created by people putting more energy into the collective. So, and they're creating that reality. It's not right or wrong, and they're creating it. This is something you intrinsically know, and this is something that you're going to be acting on in a way that's a little bit unique, a little bit away from what's going on from the collective, and doing this for yourself. But again, you will be able to aid the collective once this happens. But this is very much about yourself and about choosing who you are becoming in the now. And it's a very, very exciting time for you. Let's go ahead and choose a couple of these moon magics. Now, in pile 1 and pile 2, we were able to find an actual mantra, should they decide to take it upon themselves to use it, because it's, it has to go with your intuition and what you believe is right for yourself. Always, 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 always be discerning. And it did come up for both pile 1 and 2. That summed up the entire reading. So again, no pressure, moon magic, but let's see if that happens for you. So we have this one. I am loved beyond measure. I absolutely love this for you, coming in for you, and remembering everything that you've been through. And again, all of those experiences that you went through, that you're extracting and you're transmuting, and you're working with them in a brand new way, remembering all of that. I am loved beyond measure, absolutely, because some of you didn't always feel that way. But it goes right into what we said about seeing all of your traits, everything that you worked with and how you worked in the world, as something a superhuman would do, or a hero would do. Want you to remember that, and this really speaks to that. So let's get you one more too. Pile 3, what have we got for you here? I accept that here now is exactly where I am, and that is a place of profound learning. Absolutely. Now, this is something that you've always known. I don't feel as though that's anything brand new for you. So we're going to choose one more for you. I accept renewal and delight in fresh starts. This is you. This is you. This is your mantra should you decide to accept it. Do remember that you are loved beyond measure. This is something that you already know. I accept renewal and delight in fresh starts. This is absolutely sums up this month of October coming in for you. It's all there for you should you decide to step forward and step into this power, which most of you are already there already or working within it. If not, you'll be moving in that direction. So that's what we have for you, Pile 3. We hope it resonated and gave you some support. Of course, we're sending you support for exactly who you are and where you are in the world. Please stay safe and sane. But as we say, stay mentally and physically safe. But, not too safe. Get outside of that box and go let that freak flag fly. Go do that uniqueness. Really, really work with that imagination, which is absolutely gorgeous and at new heights. And that's what we really need. The energy of this new earth coming in. We really need this new heights of this beautiful imagination, not stuck in the old and fighting the old, but moving forward in this new expansive, beautiful direction. So I'm really excited to see what you'll come up with and what you'll do in the month of October. No doubt it will be absolutely brilliant. So until we meet again, Pile 3, take care. Bye-bye.